The government, if people don't know this, the government in Gaza is a terrorist government, and they've been shooting rockets at Israel ever since Israel withdrew. They wanted their own land, they wanted their own territory. Israel withdrew in 2005. Says, here you go. Make your own place. And what do? They elect a terrorist government there, which has done nothing except destroy whatever Israel has set up for them in terms of greenhouses and so on. And then they start shooting rockets. So there's a blockade there for a reason. And anyway, so as this Mavi Marmara thing is like everybody's condemning Israel. Well, Israel did not go, the paratroopers and guys did not go in there looking for trouble. They went in there to make sure that with paint guns, to make sure that there was no weapons or potential, destructive stuff coming in. And these guys, they were said to have been martyrs. They said that they'd be happy to die for the cause of radical Islam or whatever it is their ideology is. And they attacked these Israeli soldiers with sticks and everything else. So Israel defended themselves, and that's just one good example of how bad the PR is that Israel gets.
Okay, so I understand that you see a need for a Jewish voice in the media, because I guess there's not really many other outlets other than, well, JLTV's in the States, but in Canada there wasn't very many. But I know that your show isn't just about promoting Israel and Israeli issues. It's a Jewish lifestyle show, so you're covering Jewish entertainment, Jewish lifestyle needs, and a variety of other subject matters as well, right?
Exactly.
So can you speak a bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the religion's been around for thousands of years. So Christianity and Islam are founded on it. The religion has so much to offer in terms of wisdom, in terms of lessons. We have rabbis on the show, and we learn about Jewish spirituality and other things. Many of these things are today, like everyone talks about The Secret, for example. This whole idea, I mean, came from Jewish ideas, Jewish thought. There's an incredible amount of wisdom and wonderful things in the religion, and Jewish people offer a lot to the world. We know the number of Nobel Prizes that Jewish people create. So there's something about Judaism, Jewish people, that is remarkable, and that's what our show is. I mean, we celebrate that. So we do have on entertainers and singers and people from all walks of life, authors and everything to celebrate that and to learn from it, because Jews and non-Jews, I think, have lost touch with many of the things that Judaism has to offer.
And you also touch on some pretty hard-hitting issues that, like you say, affect the Jewish community, but also the non-Jewish community. I know you had a guest from Jax on dealing with the whole issue of alcoholism and drugs and what have you. So it's really a widespread show covering a variety of issues, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. And we have not just Jewish people on too. We've had Christians, and we're open to everything, right? And we're also open to hearing different points of view. So, for example, on a political issue, we are interested in hearing what some of the criticisms are. Let's get them out on the table. Let's talk about it and communicate, and because we all do have to get along in the end, right? Whatever your religion, your beliefs, we all need to get along, and we want to live in peace and not blow up the world. So that's the goal.
That's a great. So, Dave, with all this wisdom that the Jewish tradition has brought into the world, do you think that there will ever be peace there in the Middle East, in Israel and Palestine? And how can
I certainly
how are we going to do that?
So, Hugh. I certainly hope so. I mean, I know that there are elements on both sides, on the Jewish side and on the non-Jewish side, that are creating obstacles. and it's not an easy thing. I do know that, but you know, I mean, when you see Netanyahu was here in U.S. recently meeting with Obama, and he was on Larry King, and he said publicly, he said to the leader of the Palestinian Authority, he said, let's meet today, tomorrow, you know, wherever, you name the place, let's do it. Let's sit down and talk face to face, because you can't negotiate peace unless you sit down and talk about it. And I do think he's a good leader, Netanyahu. And look, you know, Israel has created peace with Egypt and with Jordan, so nothing's impossible. It's not easy, and I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. But you know, we have to keep working towards it, and you never know.
So, David, aside from this show being a topical format for all things Jewish and even helping non-Jewish people. I'd like to just delve into a bit about the whole thing about how you actually came to create the show and bring it to life, because I think there's a lot of people out there that would love to have a show.
Yes.
And just don't know how to go about doing it. So if you could share some insight on that, I'd
Sure.
appreciate
Well,
it.
it's like the last guest who was on your show. I'm sorry, I forget her name.
Lai Ping.
Lai Ping.
Lai Ping.
Yeah.
She says, dare to dream. Okay? Everybody has some kind of a dream. And you're not going to get everything you want in life. But if you have a kernel, if you have an idea, something that you love to do, something that you're passionate about, you have to go for it, and you have to take risks sometimes. Okay? And you can't always worry about, you know, getting paid today, tomorrow. I mean, you have to follow your dream. You have a long-term vision. So for me, it was having a show. Some people would like to have a show. Some people would like to go to Italy. Whatever it is, your dream, okay, you have to you have to separate. If there's 10 things that you'd like to have, okay, you might have to give up 9 of them or 8 of them, and you focus on the one thing that is really, really important. And that one thing, if that's really important to you, you can do it. And you have to work towards it. And you know, sometimes it's like you're crawling up, you're going up a mountain. You're not going straight up the mountain. Sometimes you have to go, you know, side to side a little bit till you see an opportunity to stake up, to make a step up. And sometimes it takes a very long time, but you keep going.
So just to sort of walk through the steps then, you had a conception, an idea.
Yes.
And then how did you bring that idea, like turn it into a pitch and bring it into a station to get it covered?
Well,
weekly.
You know, the beautiful thing of that channel, that media, is you don't have to pitch anyone. You just sign up. So, you know, like if you want to develop a TV show and have it running on CBC or something like that, you know, you're going to have quite a pitch, right? I mean, you know, they want to see your experience and everything else. Well, for me, I just slowly found my way into this place. You know, I have a mortgage business. I needed to advertise it, so I was attracted to the idea of radio advertising because I like talking and whatever. So that was the first step. And then as I was on the show, I wanted to do more and more, and there wasn't an opportunity. So I looked for the next step, and the next step was starting my own show here on thatchannel.com. If you want to start a show here on thatchannel.com, you just call you say, I want to start a show. Next day you got a show.
That's
Oh,
right.
is
I'm
that-
that easy.
that's easy.
I'm that easy, David.
But
his
then
phone
there
number
are some
is
other
this.
issues like
Wait, Dad, I want to say
Okay,
something
sorry,
now.
sorry, go ahead.
See, you're complaining that you're carrying the show all yourself, and
Well,
I
wasn't
can't even get a
complaining,
word
I
in
wanted you to
edgewise.
get it.
But David, you know, the thing is too. I think you make a good point there, and I just kind of want to confirm it. And that is that, you know, people can dream about doing a TV show, and they can plan about doing a TV show, and maybe they'll even get a chance to pitch to the CBC or the CTV or
Right.
Global or whatever. But right here, you can start tomorrow.
That's
and
right.
a lot of times, you know, you can plan something, but as soon as it hits the real world, you got to modify,
That's right.
right? And you're probably going to have to do that anyway. So why not just start
That's right.
and just see how it goes?
Well, exactly.
And in fact, actually, if I remember correctly, I'm just going to point out something. Because when you started doing your show, it wasn't meant. Was it meant?
It was